discussing a rather controversial issue involving Filipina Japanese golfer Yuka Saso, the world's newest and most celebrated and most followed golfer after she won the US Women's Open Championship at age 19 years old. Today, I will be dissecting and analyzing issues regarding her future decision on whether she should stick to her Filipino identity and play as in the world stage as a Filipino, or she will choose to follow her father's citizenship, and that is to become a Japanese player. Is Yuka going to turn Japanesa? So that is our hot topic for today. And another issue related to that. Are we going to lose Yuka the same way the Philippines lost Grandmaster Wesley So, who migrated to the US, frustrated and disappointed by the lack of support from his compatriots in the Philippines? So, will we have another Wesley So in the person of golf prodigy Yuka Saso? So before we delve into the topic, please subscribe to the Blackcaster Armandin YouTube channel, because in this channel, we will be asking the questions that nobody asks, and we will be probing issues that are too sensitive for some people to discuss. This issue is way too advanced, but it so happened that during my first video about Yuka, my comment section, especially followers Mark Dumol and several others, have raised the questions about what nationality she will be taking when she shall have reached the age of reason. And that is a very important issue, because for the Philippines, it involves national pride and national prestige and national fame. So this is a hot topic, and this also will involve the discussion on whether we should rethink the national priority to support basketball, because this country is crazy about basketball. Should we rethink our sports program and support other sports where we excel? So please follow me in these discussions, because I happen to have long association with Yuka and her family, because our children both played the junior golf circuit when Yuka started playing here at age 8 years old. So I have an insight on the family as well as the growing up years of Yuka in the junior golf community in the Philippines. So now we go into the topic at hand. This early, many people, especially those who are exposed to Japanese media, have already raised the possibility that Yuka will finally decide to be a Japanese. And in fact, her father, whom we call Masa, has already intimated or has already revealed or made it known to Japanese media that eventually Yuka will choose her Japanese citizenship. And I, for one, wouldn't be surprised if she's going to do so. Because we know in Japan, they have the government and the private sector all come together to support local sports prodigies and local sports celebrities, something that they do not enjoy in the Philippines. In fact, in many of her interviews, Yuka have somehow, in quite diplomatic way, complained that there have been lacking in government and private sector support to the program of raising June golfers, talented June golfers, to represent the country abroad. In one interview, she said, and I quote, "In the Philippines, there's a lot of young players who want to play golf, but they don't have enough money. They couldn't afford to play in the tournament, so they can't go," meaning they can't go abroad. "But if we can all support them, then maybe we can all go and experience an international tournament." So you see, the Yuka I know still has the heart of gold. Even in her celebrity status, she's still thinking about her junior golf counterparts who have not been given the same opportunity as she did. In fairness, she said, the Philippine Association, they're doing their best to support young players. And here, she's probably referring to the Philippine Junior Golf Association, an association made up of supporters and parents of junior golfers like myself. But then, the support we can give is quite limited. So, you see, as I said earlier, Yuka was just being polite. She's really saying that there's a lacking in government and private sector support. Again, during the comment section in my first blog, many people raised the fact, Filipinos at that, raised the fact that she's well supported by international ports tycoon Ricky Razon of RCTSI. Yes, I can vouch for that because even as a junior golfer, Ricky has been supporting Yuka, but that is just one company. And there's many more companies that are actively supporting and showering all their financial resources to basketball. But before Ricky Razon came into the picture, Yuka had been all on her own, supported only by her parents. Mind you, not all junior golfers are rich, and I have seen her family struggle to support her. Her practice, her twice a day or thrice a day practice, her weekly tournaments in different golf resorts here and abroad, the hiring of expensive pros, caddies, golf fees, and yearly trips to the US, Europe, and Asian countries. You know, my family, for example, my daughter didn't quite actually excel because we can, for every, although she qualifies to represent the country, playing abroad as a junior golfer, we can only afford to go there for 2 to 3 weeks of intense caddying and professional coach management program, 2 to 3 weeks. Whereas Yuka, who decided to go on homeschooling, they have friends who lent them houses so that they can stay there for 3 months to familiarize with the courses, to familiarize with the weather, and perfect her game in the junior golf courses. So you see, that's the difference. If we can have more Filipinos playing abroad, staying there longer, or even studying there, then we can have more Yuka Sasos. So, in fact, I would venture a guess that her family by now, from 8 years old to 19, her family could have already spent some 15 to 20 million from their own money. That is $500,000 in the US. So, if we want to prevent the possibility of Yuka turning Japanese, we should really give in and take the lessons and take heed to her appeal and her call for the Filipino government and the Filipino business sector to band together to support her. Mind you, history has already proven, past and present history, that Filipinos can excel in any sports that we put our minds into, and we get full support from the government. If you remember the name Michael Christian Martinez, this is the boy who had to sold their house so that he can perfect his game in figure skating in one of the malls here in the Philippines. And that effort bore fruit, and he was able to win the Asian figure skating trophy and other trophies in figure skating competitions in Europe. And in 2014, he qualified for the 2014 Olympics, being the only representative from Southeast Asia and a tropical country at that, like the Philippines. So imagine that, this boy putting their house for sale simply to be able to go and participate in competitions abroad. That is a very sad story to hear. And not only that, we also have many illustrious sports personalities who also started from scratch, from almost nothing, and made it through the support of some people, and mind you, not big tycoons, business tycoons, and we count among them, of course, boxing sensation Manny Pacquiao, before him Flash Elorde, and then in bowling we have Paeng Nepomuceno, in chess we have Eugene Torre, in billiard we have Efren Bata Reyes, and in weightlifting we have Heidelin Diaz. So they are all global. This is what we have to compete now. This is what we have to excel now. We have to go for sports that bring us taller than all the other representatives, the Caucasian representatives, the European representatives in the world stage and in the world podium. These illustrious sports personalities are not 6-footers, which is required in basketball, but they stand taller than everyone else in the world stage. So that is what we should be concentrating on, and not the sports of basketball, which requires tall people, 6-footer people, and which requires big-bodied people, and so much not fitting to the small stature of most Filipinos. And in golf, we have Jennifer Rosales, Frankie Miñosa, Jubic Pagunsan, Miguel Tabuena, Angelo Cue, and many others who are also making a name of their own, and could also be standing in the world stage in the future. So this is what we should be working on and concentrating on. That's why, forgive me, basketball lovers. I'm not saying we should ban basketball. I'm not saying we should start supporting basketball. But many years have passed, and we have not made a dent in the world of basketball. We have not given pride to our country in the game of basketball. It is only us Filipinos playing ourselves. It is only us Filipinos competing against ourselves. But when we go abroad, with all the support from the private sector and from the government, we all go home frustrated with nothing to show for the effort, time, and money we spend on basketball. So let us follow, let us give in, let us heed the call and appeal of golf sensation Yuka Saso. By doing so, by supporting her and those like her, we can still convince her to stay and play for the Philippines. I end here with the reminder to please again subscribe to the Blockcaster Armandin YouTube channel. And if you agree with my views, if you support my views for our country to rethink our sports priority, then please share this to other people, especially people in government, people in Congress, the LGUs, the Senate, and Malacanang. Let us start a movement to ask the government to prioritize sports where we excel. So thank you very much and see you in my next vlog.